Hello everyone, this is Luigi and this is my course redesign project for Italian 30. Just a little bit of background. The Italian 30 class is usually a split class with Italian 30. It's not because I want it that way, but it's the only way that it goes ahead as a class because there's just not enough students taking the program. Um, we have a few computer labs in the school, and they're easily booked. They can be booked for specific days for a whole semester at a time, if you so wish. So there's not a problem getting access to the computers, and a lot of the students, if not all, have considerable skills when it comes to using computers. Um, I'll give you a little bit of background on my teaching style. My preferred approach to learning second languages has been to focus on interactional activities, more spontaneous in nature, that kind of stuff. Time is that I dedicate time on a regular basis to interact orally, to allow the students to interact orally. And the opportunity in this redesign is to incorporate a similar approach to written production activities. In other words, to do in the written domain what I'm doing now in the oral domain. So I'd like to provide a few comments as far as the rationale is concerned. And really, the rationale is based on a number of different ideas. Number one, there is considerable agreement that face to face classroom time is best spent doing activities which engage the students in interactional activities. In other words, oral communication, that sort of stuff. We know that the purpose of blended learning is not to pile on extra work, but to do it in a better way. We know that the use of blogs, discussion boards is particularly suited for the production mode of written messages. And it's conducive to fostering the principles of the community of inquiry and related Alberta Ed outcomes. Overall, in a phrase, it makes sense. So, just as the rationale is based on a number of different ideas, so is the theoretical framework based on a number of different sources. The first of which is the program of studies supplied by Alberta Education, wherein we learn that, as you would expect, that the aim of second languages in general and Italian 30 in particular is communicative competence in that language. So, what is communicative competence? Well, it could be represented by four interrelated and interdependent components, what we could refer to as general outcomes. So, what are these general outcomes? They are one, applications, in other words, being able to apply the language in a particular situation. Language competence, which refers more to the grammar and competence in using the language correctly. Global citizenship and strategies, learning strategies included, general learning strategies included in that. So, to get to the more specific outcomes, the program of studies suggests that there are three modes of communications which are to be used to organize some of the specific outcomes. And these are one, interaction, face to face oral communication, in other words, primarily oral, but not necessarily strictly oral communication. Interpretation, this is receptive communication of oral and written messages, in other words, understanding, right? And production. This is the communication of oral and written messages in contexts where the audience is not in personal contact with the speaker or writer. Another leg of this framework would be supplied by Twig in what I could refer to as a hybrid replacement supplemental model. And the last, of course, is based on the community of inquiry outcomes being congruent with the Alberta Educational General Outcomes for second languages. So, a few thoughts on the module design itself, on its objectives, content, and process. Now, the module is ongoing and would last the duration of the semester. The objectives would be first and foremost to provide a forum for the production and possibly interaction in the written mode, and to create a portfolio of student work. The content would be made up of written production on a regular basis of text reflecting the use of linguistic points that we may have covered in class, for instance, past tense, future tense, and so on. The presentation of major written projects in essay or other formats. For instance, what did you like or dislike about Valentine's Day? What did you do at Christmas when you were younger as opposed to what you do now? And the process involved would be just activities and procedures aimed at fostering social, cognitive, and teaching presence, making sure that the right process is adhered to in promoting and fostering these presences. The regular use of D2L in the computer lab, and a correlation with face-to-face activities in the classroom. So, as far as evaluation is concerned, suggestions here presented are from the summary on the discussion on evaluation. Using surveys throughout the course at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the course. Observing students when working collaboratively during class discussions or activities for insights on their struggles and interests. And the COI evaluation approach to get feedback about the social, cognitive, and teaching aspects of the inline community of inquiry.